Says we're live. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to WRME Live, where I am hiding my phone. Welcome to the party.
Making sure
It is supposed to be so nice.
We're live. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't
confirmed
get
live.
notification on my phone like I usually do. It usually pops up.
I just have to trust that the magic that is technology and the little gnomes running through the wires or whatever crazy theory you have for how technology works are just doing their job. I leave the tech to her. Which is, I'm just glad there's someone to do the tech besides me. I used to be the tech person, and then I couldn't keep up. I had children, went right out the brain. Holy cramoly, this market is a hoot. I don't know about you guys, whether you're buying or selling. It is.
It's a challenge.
Brisk. It's making us be creative, and it's wonderful. But it's also we've had some quirky things.
Well, like if you're buying and you're making an offer, and let's say you have a loan, and you say I'll offer $155 and it's listed for $150. Mm-hmm. Do you have the funds, and do you have the intent to pay the appraisal gap?
The appraisal's been an issue for a number of reasons. One, appraisals are taking longer because the market is so hot. And two, you got to be able to compete. And there are so many people that are like 20%, 50% down on a conventional loan over that. If you've got enough of those that are similar and powerful,
or a cash offer,
sometimes you have to be willing to pay what you agree upon rather than what the appraised value is if you love the property and have the cash to do so.
For instance, if it appraised for $152 and you offered $155, could you pay that $3,000
or $200
or whatever? So that's a big thing going on right now because people are asking for highest and best, and they might be approved, but for a mortgage, if you're doing a typical FHA, VA, even 5% conventional or something like that, they will not lend for more than it is appraised.
Yep, you'd have to find a way to get the cash. So, something to talk about with your lender. Maybe you have a great aunt that doesn't mind lending you $20,000 to cover that difference. You will still need to talk to your lender to see how you can do that without busting your loan.
Yes.
There are ways for some mortgage companies, check with your lender, that some will get like a gift letter and Great Aunt Ethel will be reimbursed in 20 years or something.
And if there's no restrictions, is it allowed, are they allowing you to pay over? Because I know lenders and some of their programs and different things are, interesting to put it. They have rules and regulations and stuff they have to go by also.
And some of it's a matter of interpretation, just like if you have taxes done here or there, they're going to read the laws best they can and be like, my understanding is X, and it may not line up perfectly. And so every lender's a little bit different because of how their underwriters or their CEOs interpret the rules placed either by the government or by their company. Right. So just talk to them. Open communication with your lender and your agent will help minimize these iffy but weird things that might come down the line. Odd thing that's also coming up is people wanting to reserve things that they didn't think about reserving beforehand. And part of working with a seller is trying to get them to think about even the quirky stuff. Like, I have someone that's like, can I keep the peonies? She planted peonies in the front yard. And I'm just like, well, you better disclose those aren't going to be staying.
Or, like I've told clients before, even in a market not like this, they had a rose bush or some flower that meant and they wanted to told them, go ahead and dig it up, pot it, and replace it.
Now, in some cases, they didn't feel comfortable doing that. I had them tie a ribbon to it so I could put on the MLS or on the restrictions, rose bush with yellow ribbon does not stay with property. And that way they know going into it very clearly the one with the blue, yellow, whatever ribbon is going with the homeowner, so they didn't get so attached to it. And you'd be surprised what people get attached to, but that is a separate conversation.
And another thing we're coming across. In this kind of market, the sellers do not have to do a multiple offer situation. So on the other side of this.
Just like any day of the
any
year,
market.
the seller has the right to how they sell the property, how they market the property. They don't have to use an agent. They could do a FSBO. We all know that
sell
it's
by owner.
sorry, thank you, but we all know that it's a good reason to use an agent for a number of things. But they are still boss. They pick what offer they accept based on their own logic. Some people will take a lower offer that's cash because cash doesn't involve a lender. Some people don't mind taking a higher offer if it's enough down, and everyone has their own preference to what they deem is a good offer.
Well, and it all depends on the seller and the situation. They might not even want to do, I want highest and best by this date. Mm-hmm. They don't have to do that either.
Correct.
That's just, they want to sit down and review all the offers they get in at one time. Mm-hmm. Or they might want to do it just like regular. They get an offer, they look at the offer, they either accept it, counter, reject it, and move on to the next.
Mm-hmm. And it's just figuring out what works best for the seller. Now, for instance, if the seller is an investor and he won't be back in town until Tuesday at 5, we can get with him and confirm he doesn't mind us letting the buying agents know that we will review offers at 6 o'clock at Tuesday, give him time to settle in, get it to his computer, wake up his laptop, whatever. And that way, we know, but it's still the seller's call. For all we know, he wants to wait an additional day because it was an arduous job, or he's visiting family, or whatever his reasons are. It is still the seller's call. Mm-hmm. And we will work our best to find a happy middle between seller and buying agent to try and get whatever needs to happen as smoothly and precisely and as communicative as possible. Apparently, I'm not the best at communicative until the coffee kicks
market. Sometimes, even in a normal market, we'll have a hot listing or a hot house in a really desired neighborhood.
Those rare gemstones, like I can list a few.
And even then, the seller does not have to do a multiple offer situation. That's at their discretion. That's not a have-to thing. So understand that if you go into and your agent said there's no multiple offer form, they just want highest and best by this time. Or it could say nothing, which I interpret as, if you like the offer, we need to get an offer in ASAP, because that to me says they're looking at them as they come in. So just be ready to make an offer, especially in this market, if you like a house.
We could do a video over the different ways just to present offers, but that is not a today thing. It's just quirky things are happening, and it's...
Ask questions.
I always think of Miss Frizzle. But yeah, ask questions. Ask of your realtor. Ask of your CPA. Some people are doing this. They're cashing out their 401k to down payment or pay cash for a house.
Or taking a loan against it. Some people can do that too and pay it back.
Word of advice. I've had more than one client do this. I will tell you point blank. Talk to both your CPA, whoever's handling your 401k, and if there's a mortgage lender involved, all three, because they have different rules that they study. And so it may not be worth it to you to pull it from your 401k.
Even if it's your lender that suggests it.
Words.
I know, it all just ran together there. Still talk to your accountant, your CPA, your
Edward Jones rep,
whoever it is.
In one case, someone had a 50% penalty. For instance, if it's $100,000 and they wanted to pull that $100,000 so they could get a hefty down payment on this house. Well, they just got taxed on $50,000 of it. If they had talked to everyone up front and were aware of the risk, they could make sure they had that $50,000 for paying it back next year or whatever needed to be done. Right. But some people, it doesn't get missed. They get too much in a hurry, or they don't make time to double check those things, and then they're like, this wasn't worth it because I had to pay half of it back, 15% of it back, 20%. You got to do your math. Math is your friend. It's a jerk, but it's your friend, and it gives you the truth, the good, hard truth, like a good friend. And it just goes a long way to make sure that this really is the best avenue for you, not just now, but into the future, as far as 401k, what is the penalty? Is there a way to pay it back? Just ask questions.
Have all your ducks in a row before you go out and
It'll save you a ton of trouble.
Especially in this market, because you need to be prepared. Because the last thing you want to do is get an offer accepted, pay all your inspections, appraisals, all that, and then it busts because of something you weren't aware of.
Yes. Oh, goodness.
That's in any market, but still.
Yes,
Sucks
yep,
to
yep,
lose
yep.
money.
And so doing your math, making sure you have your cash up front, finding ways to be competitive in this market without busting your 401k, doing your research in advance. And if you are really trying to compete for a gym that in a normal market is a rare find, and now we're in a hot market, you definitely need to be talking with your lender, your CPA, and in some cases, your whoever's handling your retirement fund before you make any offers. If you want to make an offer tomorrow, you call them all up today and figure out what you need to do so you can, with an educated mind, know how you can compete in such a vigorous market?
Crazy market.
I want to say voracious.
Wild West
like,
market.
it's like pit of piranhas and just see what happens. But
I'm waiting for the at noon backs to each other to decide who wins an offer. I know, right? But anyway.
Okay. We could talk all
Questions,
day.
Comments, telling us to shut up, whatever.
Favorite color of
take
shoe,
it.
whatever it
There's
is.
something you want to hear us yap about, let us know.
Yes, please. Well, let me get to it. Welcome. I said welcome.
Welcome.
This is a WRME
to-
Live where we do real life, real world real estate every day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.